God bless. Today is October 8th, 2025. So, um, this, I don't know how long I'm going to have this video, but let me get right into what I'm asserting. Whether people are coming in or not really doesn't matter at this point. It'll be online. So, we know now in Genesis 1, 1 through 5, that the the quantum physics first observer is God. Quantum physics first observer is God. And with that, we also know that man is not the first observer, but God is. Okay. Genesis 1 1, 1 to 5. Let light, God saith, let light be. Light is. God seeth the light is good. God separateth the light and the darkness. Okay. We also now are going to look at Daniel 5 in a moment, but we're going to start at Daniel 2. And Daniel 5's writing on the wall, you've probably heard that said many, many times, the writing on the wall. So I'm going to tell you right up front that when you look at that, it is numbered, weighed, and divided. After a few things we're going to talk about, we're going to get to how we get to this conclusion. But that is E equals MC squared. The writing on the wall is E equals MC squared. And this is how it's what do you call it? E equals C squared. Okay, see, E equals MC squared, right? So what you find in Daniel, which we're going to go to in a minute, is numbered, okay, numbered, speed of light, weighed, and you can put that as mass, and then you have divided. So when the atom is divided, that's when you get the energy. I mean, this is really very clear. Numbered, weighed, divided. You find this in Daniel 5, so we're going to talk about it's right there, right up front. All right. Now, let's talk about Daniel's first vision for a moment and what Daniel said in 2 when he got the revelation of the vision. And we'll look at Daniel 2:19. Then to Daniel in a vision of the night, the secret hath been revealed, that hath Daniel blessed the God of the heavens. Now remember, we said that God is the first observer, light. Daniel hath answered and said, let the name of God be blessed from age even unto age, for wisdom and might, for they are his. And he is changing times and seasons. Okay, so right around this understanding, God's going to be changing times and seasons. And he is changing times and seasons. He is causing kings to pass away, and he is raising up kings. He is giving wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those possessing understanding. Here it comes. He is revealing the deep hidden things. Now, we're going to see that this is going to be quantum physics in a second. He hath known what in darkness. Now, remember, when we're reading Genesis 1, 1 through 5, God separated the light from the darkness. He said the light was good. Darkness represents quantum physics. Because remember, the whole quantum physics first observer was, let light be, God seeth the light is good. Darkness and light with him. Okay, he hath known what in darkness, and light with him hath dwelt. Again, we're going back to Genesis 1, that God seeth the light, and the light is good. So thee, O God of my fathers, I am thanking and praising for wisdom and might thou hast given to me, and now thou hast caused me to know that which we have sought from thee for the king's matter, thou hast caused us to know. So therefore Daniel hath gone up unto Antioch. Okay, so this is now when he is going to tell what's going on with what the dream was. Just remember that. Now, let's go to Daniel 5. And in Daniel 5, let's see, Daniel 5:1. Now, Belshazzar is a new king. Belshazzar is the son of Belthazar. So this is the new reign of the son of Babylon. And Babylon is also in the Bible. Babylon, the hidden Babylon, the secret Babylon has fallen. So this is now the whole understanding of him falling. Balthazar the king hath made a great feast, 1,000 of his great men, and before 1,000 he is drinking wine. Belteshazzar hath said, while tasting the wine, to bring the vessels of gold and silver, and Nebuchadnezzar and his father, and taken from the temple that in Jerusalem, that drink with them may the king, that his great men, his wives, and his concubines, then they have brought in the vessels of gold. So they're bringing in the vessels of gold that hath been taken out of the temple. This is now the temple, the house of Jerusalem, the house of God. So there's spiritual and powerful significance to this. In Jerusalem, and drunk with them have the king and his great men, his wives and his concubines. They have drunk wine and have praised the gods of gold and of silver, of brass, of iron, of wood, and of stone. In that hour came forth 5 fingers of a man's hand, and they are writing over against the candlestick on the plaster of the wall of the king's palace. And the king is seeing the extremity of the hand that is writing. Then the king's countenance hath changed. Now remember, this is after he was drinking out of these let's say almost like holyish articles out of the temple. And his thoughts do trouble him, and the joints of his loins are loosed, and his knees are smiting one against another, his knocking knees. Call doth the king mighty, and bring up the enchanters, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers. Answered hath the king, and said to the wise men of Babylon, that any man who doth read this writing, its interpretation doth show me purple he putteth on, and a bracelet of gold on his neck. And third in the kingdom he doth rule. Then coming up are the wise men of the king, and they are not able to read the writing and the interpretation to make known to the king. Then the king Belshazzar is greatly troubled in his countenance, and changing in him and his great men are perplexed. Okay, so he saw the writing on the wall, and the writing on the wall has a meaning, and we're going to get to how that meaning now ties into today. The queen, on account of the words of the king and his great men, to the banquet house has come up. Answer hath the queen, and said, O king, to the ages live, let not thy thoughts trouble thee, nor thy countenance be changed. There is a man in thy kingdom whom the spirit of the holy gods, and in the days of thy father, light, and understanding and wisdom, light. Remember light, as the wisdom of the gods was found in him. And King Nebuchadnezzar, thy father, chief of the scribes, enchanters, Chaldean soothsayers, established him thy father, O king, because that an excellent spirit. The only way you're going to see God is if you have the spirit of God, and knowledge and understanding, interpretation of dreams, and showing the enigmas and loosening of knots was found in him. In Daniel, whose name the king made Belshazzar, now let Daniel be called, and the interpretation he doth show. Then Daniel hath been caused to come up before the king. Answered hath the king, and said to Daniel, Thou art Daniel, thou sons of the removed of Judah, whom the king my father brought out of Judah. Now remember, Daniel was brought out of Judah. He was trained, and then he showed himself approved to his father, and he gave hidden understanding that was starting in verse 2. Oops, sorry. And I have heard of thee, and the spirit of the gods in thee. So the spirit of God. Now he understands gods because that's how he understands it. Now, I don't think his father said that. I think his father said God. In thee, and light, again, light. Light is in thee, and understanding and excellent wisdom have been found in thee. And now cause to come up before me hath the wise men, the enchanters, and this writing, that ye may read, and the interpretation to cause me to know. Okay, we're going to tie this into today. Let me just keep going. I know there's a lot going on here, but we're just going to follow it through, because now it's just leading us up to where we're coming. And they are not able to show the interpretation of the thing. And I have heard thee, that thou art to give interpretations and to loose knots. Now, lo, thou art able to read the writing and the interpretation to cause me to know. Purple thou dost put on, and a bracelet of gold on thy neck, and the third in the kingdom thou dost rule. Then hath Daniel answered and said before the king, Thy gifts be to thyself, and thy fee to another give. Nevertheless, the writing I do read, and the king, and the interpretation I cause him to know. Thou, O King, God most high, a kingdom and greatness and glory and honor gave to Nebuchadnezzar thy father, and because of the greatness that he gave to him, all peoples and nations and languages were trembling. And even today, everybody is looking for, everybody's looking to see, um, what Daniel's revelation is today. Trembling and fearing before him, whom he willed, he was slaying, and whom he willed, he was keeping alive, and whom he willed, he was raising up, and whom he willed, he was making low. And when his heart was high and his spirit was strong to act proudly, he hath been caused to come down from the throne of his kingdom, and the glory they have caused to pass away from him. So his father was raised up, he got arrogant, he had the vision of the tree, was cut to the stump after 7 years and being like an animal, like a beast of the field. He retained his glory, and the last things he said, he blessed God. That was his father. This is not the father, who we're going to talk about in a second. And from the sons of men he is driven, and his heart with the beasts hath been, and with the wild asses in his dwelling, the herb like oxen they cause him to eat, and by the dew of the heavens in his body wet. So it's showing you the redemption of his father, till that he hath known that God most high is ruler in the kingdom of men, and whom he willeth he raiseth up power over it. This is a very big lead up to the power of what God was able to do to raise him up, and then he was cast down by his arrogance, and then God raised him up, and now he's blessing God again. This is the Father, not the Son. And thou, his son, Belshazzar, hast not humbled thy heart. Now, we are coming into our time, because this is about to happen. This happened right now to us in the last less than 100 years, and you'll get it once you get it. Though all this thou hast known, and against the Lord of heavens thou hast lifted up thyself, and the vessels of his house they have brought in before thee, and thou and thy great men, thy wives, and thy concubines are drinking wine with them, and gods of silver and gold, of brass, of iron, of wood, and stone, they are not seeing. So the gods of iron, wood, they're not seeing, nor hearing, nor knowing. Again, it's like doubling down that, look, none of whatever you think you understand is talking. Thou hast praised. So he praised all the wrong gods. And the God in whose hand thy breath and all thy ways, him thou hast not honored. We have come to a time now in the last, I'd say, 100 years for sure, because of quantum physics. Because of quantum physics, this is the 100-year anniversary of quantum theory, and had said this is the year we found out that God's the first observer, like totally pulling the rug on them. All right. Then from before him sent is the extremity of the hand of the writing is noted down. And the writing that is noted, and the writing that is noted down is the speed of light squared, mass equals energy. Now, that's what I'm telling you. The speed of light, and by the way, light, remember, C is the Christ. It's so ironic. E equals MC squared. C is the, in the formula, is the speed of light. So the speed of light, remember, squared equals MC squared, weighted, mass, and divided. That's what happens at the end. You're dividing the atoms. It's right here. This is the writing on the wall. Why? What did we do? We went into quantum physics. And what did man do? Man tried to make light greater than God. That's what man tried to do with the nuclear bombs. Light greater than God. And now they keep doing it all the time now with these particle accelerators. But this is the number on the wall. And now we're going to see what happens. This is the interpretation of the thing. God hath numbered thy kingdom and hath finished it. So we are going to leave now this kingdom that we have right now with Babylon, which you can consider is, the modern Western world is like Babylon, with glorifying quantum physics, glorifying exactly what this guy did. Same glory. And the writing on the walls equals MC squared. One of the most famous formulas in science, equals MC squared, that gave us the nuclear bomb. That guy Einstein wrote a paper in 1939 on August 2nd to FDR Roosevelt, which started the Manhattan Project. That was 1945. That means it's 80 years ago. This is the 80th year anniversary of not that letter, but the detonation. I'm going to just jump aside. What was detonated? The first nuclear or atomic bomb. What was the name of it? Trinity. Trinity this is what the writing on the wall is. It is E equals MC squared. Now we know. Daniel's talking about now. Daniel is talking about right now. We're 80 years in. 80 years. It's almost 100 years. The detonation of Trinity was 1945. We are in 2025. There's only 20 years difference. When man made this Trinity, it did a couple of things. One, it got power out of darkness. It got power out of the quantum theory. And now we know that God seeth the light that's good, that's relativity, but the darkness he didn't say. God was silent on the darkness. This numbered is the speed of light, with, of course, remember, C, Christ. How funny. The speed of Christ, weighed is the mass, and divided is the energy. This is why he lost the kingdom. And now, let's look at some more. So this is the interpretation of the thing. Numbered hath God numbered thy kingdom, and hath finished it. Weighed, thou art weighed in the balances, and hast been found lacking. Divided is thy kingdom, and hath been given to the Medes and the Persians. Do you know how much how much the United States wants to fight with Iran on behalf of fake Israel? Did you notice that? Like all of a sudden, like maybe the last 20 years. Isn't that something? See, the serpent might be thinking that they're going to get a blessing. The devils think that they're going to get a blessing. They're killing everybody over there in Gaza, and everybody's turning a blind eye. But you don't realize that we have here now. What happened with this king is happening now. Then hath Belshazzar said, and they clothed Daniel with purple and a bracelet of gold on his neck, and they have proclaimed concerning him that he is the third ruler in the kingdom. In that night Belshazzar, king of Chaldeans, is slain, and Darius the Mede hath received the kingdom when a son of 60 in 2 years. Now, the kingdom wasn't destroyed. So in this Babylon, it's not destroyed. But the secret Babylon could be destroyed. And our secret Babylon now is this glory that they're trying to make. They're trying to make quantum theory because this is, again, the 100-year anniversary, the quantum thing, they're trying to make the quantum theory through AI the new God. This is the God of man now. This is the God of man. And how poetic, how amazing that 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 we have something we could read now 2000 years ago, which is pretty close, as close as you can get to E equals MC squared. But and what that represents, you see, man with their nuclear bomb based on E equals MC squared, okay, it gives off light out of darkness, because it's using quantum theory. So light out of darkness is the evil of man doing what? The same thing. Babylon. The same thing. Remember the curse when they were trying to do the Babel? What did he do? He he divided their pronunciation in Genesis. And now we have Daniel 5. So, how confident am I doing in saying this? Well, let's see. God seeth the light. Let light be. God seeth the light. Light is good. Doesn't say nothing about darkness. Separates between light and darkness. We found that out this year in 2025, which happens to be the 100-year anniversary of quantum theory. So that makes perfect sense to me, because, just when you're eating your meal and you think you won, God puts a hair in it. So just when they think that they got their religion going, they have their light now glowing, thinking that they're bright. God allowed them to have their evil, and now we're at the 100-year anniversary, and we are at a time where you could see chaos coming into reality with how many genders, because God said, let us make man in our image, male and female. So what does man do? Well, man says, well, there's all kinds now. There's all kinds of genders, like 100 genders now. God says 2, man says 100. God says, let light be. God seeth the light. Light is good. And what does man do? Man thinks he's the first observer. Man is not the first observer. Absolutely, positively not the first observer. God is. So if man is the first observer, then all man is going to do is going to go into what is not good and glorify that. And out of the darkness, man makes the quantum and does E equals MC squared. And this is written down 2,000 years ago. I mean, I don't understand how can someone ignore this at this point? Like, once you see this now, you can't unsee it. And Daniel, everybody's been stressing over Daniel, trying to figure out, the interpretations. But you have to remember something. God is a spirit, and it's a spirit of truth. And when we look at something that happened in the past, we also have an analogous understanding that we will see the same spirit, that whatever is in the evil is going to show itself in the evil, and whatever's in the good is going to show itself in the good. So this is pretty amazing, if you ask me. And if you're not sure, let's go back to Daniel 2. Daniel 2. And what does he say? Just in case we forgot. Sorry, gotta stop all these. And tell the thing is gone. Tell the dream to his servants. The servants couldn't figure it out. And I think, I don't know, I kind of lost it. And Daniel got up and saw the king. And let's see what he said at the end. Yeah, let's see what he said at the end. My God, okay, whosoever the sons of men dwelling in the beasts in the field, the fowl, he hath given into thy hand and die. Because his father knew that what Daniel was saying, you can't mess with that. He absolutely knew it. And by the way, the stone in that dream that Daniel had, not Daniel, that Balthazar had, King Nebuchadnezzar had, it was a stone cut without hands brought him down. A stone cut without hands brought him down. Had it pointed over work. I just want to see what he said. But we're pretty much done for this video right now. And go show it to people. Go show it to people. Let someone tell you how E equals MC squared could not be understood as numbered weight. I mean that and divided. Let them make up some story now to say that that's not E equals MC squared. Yeah, let's see someone trying that. I think that'd be really something to behold. God bless and keep reading the Bible. Okay. Let me see if I can end now. Nope. That's it. I really don't know how to end this thing. Clothesline, full flip.